The media's stance on female genital mutilation is always, contentious. They assume a biased perspective, refraining from presenting facts neutrally. No positioning, no stereotyping, no prejudice. But rather, they tend to hide it and make it seem it does not exist. Or they take a judgmental stance instead. This is happening in these countries with wild people who are, aren't they?
Poor guys.
Destroying girls and teenage girls or women living in those countries. Because they are, aren't they, wild. It's a patriarchal society. As if Western society wasn't. As if Western society wasn't the one
We were weird.
society's standards are based on, which all the others have to conform and serve as a reference against, which all the rest is good and not based on how they conform, right? The media plays a crucial role in this, because they transmit and provide this information to the public, ultimately influencing society's perspectives and opinions on the subject.
We should use them to give visibility to the ongoing fight, which is always something that is missing. They highlight the bad and the harmful. Sorry, I can't even find the word. The bad things being done and how evil female genital mutilation is. How evil the African communities are and how evil the families are. And those words being used to say everything is bad. It causes people to reject the community and the people. How bad. But we should make it visible that we are here, we exist, and we fight and try to do something. I think that this is also something missing in the media, that part.
We've gone from calling it female circumcision, right? As a way of minimizing the harm.
Exactly.
Or the consequences, or that the community itself was doing it, right? Like being justified before the West and being able to say, well, men are circumcised.
Exactly, which is not the same thing.
And women too.
It has nothing to do with it.
And then you go through the filter of the West, and then this.
You've already disguised it a bit more.
It's no longer called ablation, in order to wake it up.
It's so bad.
So that it is not triggered by, or it doesn't hurt the sensibilities of the communities, to be called mutilation, right? As a way of making an impact on the seriousness of the issue. But I think that the West has even used that to its advantage, and the media even more so.
Much more.
Exactly.
Because it's that tool that says, they're mutilating people.
Exactly.
In other words, normality means being like them. So that's what's normal, and we are not normal, because when we deviate from the stereotype of normal, everything we do becomes negative. That reminds me a lot of Muhammad Ali, who gave a speech about that. He said, "It was funny when I turned on the TV, and everything bad would have the word black behind it. They would say, 'It's dirty,' and a black man would appear, you know? Then they'd shower him, and a white guy would come out and say, 'He's clean now.' So everything normal starts when you cross that line, right? When you're already from the West, already an American, but already white. So everything else that's left behind is all bad." So he says, "I grew up thinking that being black is a bad thing, because just turning on the TV and seeing an ad like that, or watching the news where the black man is the one who has killed, where the black man is the one who has done so-and-so, is something that makes you want to turn away." The issue with the female mutilation ultimately isn't confined to Africa alone, okay? So where are the ones in Central America and South America that are also being mutilated? Where are the Asians who are also being mutilated? Where are the areas in Asia Minor, Saudi Arabia, and so on that are also being mutilated? So those are not included. Why?
South Asians.
Because we, as black individuals, tend to grab the media's attention the most. Stereotypes paint us as savages, louder, to the extent that even when we speak, it may seem like we are shouting, and so on. When you go to a service centre seeking assistance, they might raise their voice at you just because you are black. It's like, I understand you anyway, you don't need to shout at me, you know?
However, all these aspects are interconnected within a broader system, encompassing racism influence across various aspects and levels of society. We are dealing with structural racism that can be observed throughout history, since slavery until today, right? They are considered, I don't know if I should say, to be an intermediate status between animals and whites, right? In essence, racialized people.
We are animals.
They are in a category. I don't know exactly where, right? But which would be above animals, in some cases, in others not, and below white people.
Exactly.
And then this underlying perspective influences the development of policies and the execution of actions across all societal levels. This impact extends beyond public administration, encompassing healthcare, education, and even institutions like the police force, etc. The issue we face is that racism, in other words, impregnates everything like an oil stain.
In the water.
No, on a piece of paper or a piece of cloth, which spreads and ends up staining everything. So that's the problem we have. How long will female genital mutilation remain taboo in our society? And when will it stop being analysed from a white Western perspective?
Why is female genital mutilation always linked to Africa?